Okay, we'll get started. A couple of instructions, or you can say working agreement for this session. So I'll be running through a presentation, and I'll be asking some questions in between. It is not to expect an answer from you, but for you to reflect upon, because it's difficult to make it very interactive on this online. However, I would like you to keep sharing your questions on the chat. I have Malavika from our team who is helping me. Thanks, Malavika. And I'll be doing some, activities in this session. So it will be good if you are in a little bit quiet place. I know we're all at home and there are maybe kids and others at home. So it will be useful if you are in a little quiet place to do those practices during this session. So with that, let's get started. I know many people, but it's good to share some background about myself in this session context, so that it's more for why I'm saying what I'm saying, and also to build some more conviction in you about what I'm saying. Okay. First of all, from a professional perspective, I'm a electronics and computer science graduate. Worked in Indian Institute of Science for a couple of years on research projects. Then worked in ADA, Aeronautical Development Agency, on light combat aircraft avionics system. Then, I mean, it's very cherishable for me because it was with Abdul Kalam. He was the program director at that time. Then I joined Motorola when the Motorola Center started in India. I was with Motorola for about 8 years. In that, 3 years in Singapore, covering the Asia Pacific region, Japan, Korea, China, Singapore, and India on a software excellence journey. After coming back, I joined Mindtree. I was a senior vice president and part of the core management team, taking it from a startup to 10,000 people global organization. Then I'm part of PM Power Consulting now. So we do agile transformation, mindful leadership kind of programs. This from a professional side. But for this session, I would like to share some personal interest and background, which is kind of relevant in this context. I like Hindustani classical music. I play tabla. And I used to do a lot of gymnastics. Parallel bars and Roman rings were my specialization. I like trekking, mountaineering in Himalayas and especially Western Ghats. It still continues. I'm a homeopathic practitioner. In that process, I learned a lot about human anatomy, physiology, neurology, endocrinology, and psychology, because that's a key part of diagnosis in homeopathy. And I'm an ardent practitioner of yoga meditation since many years. I see all of them are very interconnected. And when you talk about leadership, it's essentially about dealing with human beings, which are a phenomenal machine, I would say, so to say. So that's a quick context. So why are we doing these sessions? As we are engaging with multiple organizations and people, we notice that people are having these kind of challenges in the current situation of work from home and the lockdown, etc. The stress, anxiety, insecurity feelings, loneliness or boredom, personal time and office time blurring, and even the time stretching. We see people, starting early in the morning and it still goes late in the evening, because around the world people are connecting online, and so it has become a little kind of a stretched time. And multitasking, distractions, doing multiple things at home, dealing with many other people at home, too much sitting, less walking around, too much screen time, because all meetings are only through computers now. Physical, mental, emotional well-being challenges. So these are some of the common issues we are noticing. So how can we deal with this? That's the context. So first question is, why should we address this? So I would say the personal well-being first, then we can deal with other things. we see that people are trying to deal with all these things and they are not actually taking care of themselves. We need to take care of ourselves first so that we can take care of people around us and the situations around us. I hear many people saying that we used to have a little bit me time earlier during commute or during other times because there was a different rhythm set at that time. Now we don't have that me time. I think it's very important to have this because that's where we can take care of ourselves. And we talk about managing outside by mastering inside. The more challenging situations and peoples we have to deal with outside, we need more inner mastery to deal with our own energy, mind, emotions, thoughts, all those kind of things. And here I want you to reflect upon this. All experiences are happening within us, isn't it? Many times you may think that, oh, this situation, the world situation is causing this, the people around are causing this kind of moods and emotions and feelings within me. But if you notice, all experiences are happening within us. If you say it's because of outside, then actually we are disempowering ourselves. In a sense, we are outsourcing our happiness and well-being to other people outside and other situations outside. That's not a good way to be, isn't it? On the other hand, if you just realize that it's all happening within us, that means we should be able to manage it. Only thing is we are not aware of that and we don't know how to deal with that. And the moment we become aware and say, okay, we can deal with that, it's extremely empowering and it's possible. That's what we want to explore. One more point is there is so much emphasis on physical hygiene in the current situation. Washing hands, sanitization, wearing masks, all those kind of things. That's very essential, but I feel more important than that is mental hygiene, and we are not paying enough attention to that. If you observe the trend of corona, you know, uh, the patients, most of the time, the people who are getting attacked are the people who have low immunity, people who have are aged or who have certain other, you know, challenges in the system. They are the ones who are getting it, and they are the ones who are succumbing more also. That means strengthening our immune system is more important than just the hygiene, physical hygiene factor. And if you look at for mental hygiene is very important for immunity. Now, actually, modern medical science knows that 80 to 90% diseases are psychosomatic. That means caused by mind. So that is why it's so important to pay attention to our own mind and keep the mind in a, you know happy and calm state. So I'm taking some example here: stress, anxiety. You can relate it to any negative emotion actually. So the question is, what is stress? Again, if you reflect upon, stress is really about having too many thoughts in the mind. It's kind of uncontrolled. It's just going on, and I don't know how to deal with that. It's just running. Uh, that causes stress actually. And I want you to do one small experiment now. And I'll be using this bell, to these small experiments or small activities. Whenever I ring this bell, you start an activity. Whenever I ring this bell again, you stop that activity. Okay. So now when I ring this bell, sorry, I want you to close your eyes and just observe thoughts in your mind. Okay. You can start. Just close your eyes and observe thoughts in your mind. can open your eyes. So, did you observe that there are thoughts in your mind? In fact, mind is quite tricky. When you start observing the thoughts, actually thoughts will vanish. You may experience some kind of a blankness in the mind actually, because observing thought itself is a kind of meditation actually. But if I leave you for some more time, you would have wandered into so many places. Wandered means your thoughts have already carried you to different place. So best way to catch mind is randomly you just peep in and check. You can catch it red-handed. You will notice that there are a lot of thoughts in the mind. Any idea how many thoughts we get per day? Again, modern medical research shows that we get about 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. And how many of them are useful? Almost 99% are useless thoughts because it's the same recycling keeps happening. It's very dynamic, but it's just running in an inefficient way. Now, I want you to reflect upon what kinds of thoughts are coming in your mind. Not what thoughts, what kind, the nature of thoughts. If you observe, 90% of them are either about the past or about the future. It's something like, oh, I should have done that, or I forgot to do that, or why is this person said like this, or something in the future. I should do this, I have to do that, all the planning, or, what if this happens, fear, anxiety. If you look at all these are either past or the future. The mind is oscillating between the past and the future, and hardly 10% in the present moment. But what all has to happen can only happen in the present moment, isn't it? Because past is gone, we don't have access. Future is not there yet. So what all we can do can happen only in the present moment. Even the planning for the future is a present moment activity. So we can even plan that more efficiently if you are present fully, right? So then we want to see how to do that. So now the question is how to reduce thoughts. We have too many thoughts and useless thoughts that's causing stress. How to reduce thoughts? If you say, I'm getting too many thoughts, I want to reduce thoughts, that itself is another thought. It starts multiplying like that. So you can't give command to the mind. You try one more thing. Say you don't like something and say you set a goal. I'll forget it in the next 10 minutes. Can you forget? We'll recall it even more, right? So we can't deal with mind directly. For body, you can give command, raise hand, leave it, it works. For mind, if you say don't think, it thinks more actually. So we need some indirect approaches to deal with mind. That's what we want to look at today. So two more small experiments. Are you ready? So in this round, when I ring this bell, I want you to close your eyes and observe outside any sound, smell, or anything outside of you. Okay? Close your eyes and observe outside. Yes? So, what did you observe? I'm not asking for a response, you just think about it. I'm sure you heard some sound from outside, also from the speaker. Somebody, I think, went out of mute. Maybe some smell, cooking smell, especially at time at home or somewhere. So you observe, I'm sure, some things from the outside. Now, in the second round, I want you to observe something within yourself. So when I ring this bell, you close your eyes and observe within yourself. Close your eyes and observe within yourself. You can open your eyes. So what did you observe in this round? Maybe anybody wants to respond? You can unmute and talk and then mute again.
Body sensations.
Okay, that's good. Body sensations, any pains in the body? Yeah.
Energy movement.
Oh, that's wonderful. You're going pretty deep already. Anybody else?
Breathing.
Okay, good. Breathing. Yeah, sure. I'm sure you would have, somebody might have observed heartbeat or even thoughts in the mind. So now the question is, did you observe the sound outside in the second round? May not be that much, right? I'm sure there may be some sound you would have observed, but not as much as in the first round. More important question is, in the first round, did you observe that you are breathing, there was heartbeat or body sensation or even thoughts? Less likely. What it means is that we have some capacity through which we can become fully aware of our surrounding or become fully aware within ourselves, you know, including our thoughts, emotions, moods, and the feelings. This is called on-demand attention. It's like a torch, I can just beam it outside. Wherever I put that, that comes to my awareness. I beam it inside, I become aware of within myself. And with little bit practice, you can do that simultaneously. This is a great power actually. With this, you can deal with, as I said, managing outside by mastering inside. So we'll see some few techniques where we can practice this much more consciously. And I'll also show some of the neuroscience research in the modern day, how it actually impacts our brain, nervous system, endocrine system, our hormones, and in turn our again moods, emotions, thoughts, etc. So this power of being able to be in the present moment is called mindfulness basically. Mindfulness is about being in the present moment with full awareness of what's happening within oneself, thoughts, feeling, emotions, and outside situations, people, and responding wisely and consciously rather than reacting compulsively. In fact, we are not even aware that most of the time we react to situations and people, and we are not responding with a deeper level of awareness actually. So now this mindfulness, what's happening in the industry is that, in fact, mindfulness is from Buddhism, and it became popular in the healthcare industry because people noticed that by practicing mindfulness techniques, patients started recovering faster. And then because of its impact on mind, it has become very popular in the leadership development programs. And one good example is Google's Search Inside Yourself program. This has three components: mindfulness practices, emotional intelligence, and neuroscience. So basically, Google wanted to drive innovation, and they saw that if you want to drive innovation, there needs to be diversity in the teams. That means diverse kinds of people, diverse kinds of ideas. But if you bring high technical, high individual, brilliant people and with great ideas and bring them together, normally there will be conflict because they don't agree to each other. There will be ego clashes, all those things. So if you want to bring those high performers together, they need higher emotional intelligence, not just intellectual intelligence. And then Google was trying to see how to develop emotional intelligence in people. And that's where they saw that mindfulness practices really help to develop emotional intelligence. And they tied up with Stanford University to do the neuroscience research. So because of the scientific evidence, it has become now very popular, and a lot of other companies are adopting it. In fact, I met one senior VP from IBM New York in Manyata Tech Park in Bangalore recently. She started coming to India and learned meditation in Pyramid Valley. Some of you may know on Kanakpura Road. And she found it pretty impactful for herself. And then she introduced that in her business units worldwide. And in 6 months, actually, they found significant impact in terms of collaboration, people's state of being, etc. And that caught the attention of Jeannie, IBM chairman, and she asked her to conduct similar session for her staff, and they found it very useful. And then this person is elevated directly reporting to the IBM chairman, and her role is now to roll out mindfulness across IBM worldwide for 4 lakh employees. So there are many other companies adopting it now because there is a huge impact on leadership, as well as when you talk about agile, which is very mind oriented or people characteristics oriented. So that's why it's become big, more and more, it's gaining traction. So we learn one small technique now. This is very simple, but at the same time very profound actually. Only thing is that we need to practice it. Just listening, reading a book or watching a video doesn't bring the transformation. Only practicing it actually brings the transformation. And we'll see how then it changes the brain, nervous system, etc. So are you ready for this now? So I want you to sit relaxed, but your head and back straight. I won't be able to go to the science behind that, but keeping the head and back straight is very important actually. So just observe your shoulder, neck, just loosen that because that's where the tension happens. And when I ring this bell, you close your eyes and then follow the instructions. I'll be taking you through some guided instructions. You just follow the instructions. Okay? Sit relaxed with your back and head straight. Take a deep breath. Exhale fully. Take another deep breath and exhale fully. Bring your attention to breath. Just observe how the air goes in and comes out. Don't try to control the breath. Just observe the breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, observe the slight sensations in the nostrils. As you breathe in and breathe out, Observe the slight movement of nostrils. As you breathe in and breathe out, observe the slight movement of chest. Observe the slight movement of abdomen as you breathe in and breathe out. Bring back the attention to breath. Continue to observe the breath. If any thoughts come in the mind, don't follow the thought. Just bring back the attention to breath. Continue to observe the breath. Gently open your eyes. Okay, any quick observations? You can respond, unmute and talk and mute again.
Body is relaxed.
Okay, feeling relaxed. That's good.
Energy is moving
Okay, that's good.
across all chakras.
Oh,
Peaceful.
yeah, peaceful, quietening. Okay, great. So I'm sure most of you would have now observed quietening in the mind, right? And some kind of a calmness and kind of a relaxation. We'll see the connections. But the moment mind becomes calm, actually body becomes relaxed. And there are interrelationships between them. We'll see that in a while. So this is as simple as that. If you want to, so why we feel quietening is we reduce thoughts in the mind. Earlier we saw there are a lot of thoughts in the mind, and too many thoughts actually causes stress. And how to reduce thoughts? By giving command to mind, we cannot reduce thoughts. So this is a simple technique. Basically, we need to divert the attention of the mind to something else. And best way to do is to divert the attention to breath, because it's always with us. And more importantly, there is many other things happen in the body when you observe the breath. When you're and the mind and breath are together. And we'll see that again through neuroscience. So this is a simple technique. In fact, in computer, if there are too many processes are running, we know it slows down. Even if you hit a key, it takes a while to respond. And then we go to task manager, tick, 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 select task and then kill, right? This is something like that. This is a way to kill those unwanted thought processes. That's why we feel the quietening in the mind. So there are many other techniques of mindfulness. We'll be sharing you more references at the end of this session. So people have observed the impact of mindfulness in various dimensions. One is on personal well-being, reduce stress and anxiety, because obviously we're reducing the uh, too many thoughts in the mind, and improved physical and mental health. Even physical health improves. I'll show you some data based on our own programs we have conducted, and we gathered data from the practitioners. As I said, 90% diseases are psychosomatic, caused by mind. The moment mind starts becoming calm, actually the physical health improves. And personal effectiveness, on-demand attention, focus. See, I can manage my time consciously. I can become aware of surrounding, become aware of people, or I can fully get focused into what I want to do. So it's like on-demand attention. Professional performance, more productive. So now what happens is my CPU, memory, input, output, all of them is now fully available. I am more present and less lost in the past and future of the wandering of the mind. That's why I become more productive in actually whatever I do. Fourth one is social connect, better relationships. Why relationships improve? Because when I'm calm, for example, I notice people around me much better. I perceive things better. I start observing what state of mind other people are. If I am lost in my own thought process, I won't even notice. The moment I start paying attention to them and respond to them, they respond back actually. So that's how the relationships improve, even at home, at work, or even in the social context. I want to share a couple of neuroscience research, this Google, Stanford research. One of them is they observed the brainwave frequency. Just like ECG for heart, EEG for my brain, right? Electroencephalograph. So in the wake cycle, uh, our brainwave frequency will be between 15 to 30 cycles per second, and higher the rate if there is more stress. If you do a little bit of this mindfulness practice, it comes down to what's called alpha state, about 7 to 15 cycles per second. If you do a little deeper meditation, it comes down to what's called theta state, 4 to 7 cycles per second. So what is the significance of this? It's like a clock speed in a CPU. The higher the clock speed, it consumes more power and it dissipates more heat. Very similar thing happens for this CPU. If this is running at a high clock speed, it actually keeps this entire metabolism running in a high gear. Sometimes we feel we are going to sleep at night and get up in the morning and we don't still feel fresh. That's because when you go to sleep, input output are shut down, but the CPU and memory are still active unless we are getting deep sleep. That's why you get dreams and all those things. So it's like we have parked the car, but it's running at a high RPM. Engine is running at a high RPM. It's like that. So the only way to reduce this brainwave frequency is something like this meditation or mindfulness techniques. And that's what actually calms down the whole physiology and the entire body. If anybody is interested, they can do experiment. There are headsets available even online like Flipkart and Amazon. It's about 10,000 rupees. You can wear this. It has a Bluetooth connection to laptop, and then you can observe how your brain frequency changes. Another thing they have observed is what are called neurotransmitters. These are like hormones. There are about 35 such hormones they have studied. I'm showing 4 of them here. Dopamine, which is called antidepressant. So if you produce more dopamine, you will not feel depressed. See, when people say depression and go to doctor, they give this antidepressant basically. Oxytocin is the other. This hormone is called pleasantness hormone. That means if you produce more oxytocin, you will be happy unconditionally. I don't know, you might have heard there are oxytocin bars. You can go and breathe more oxytocin. but that's not a good thing to do, because anything you import from outside, no, it actually kills our own manufacturing factory inside. Just like economy, if you import a lot of goods from outside, local industry dies down. More of these chemicals you take from outside, it actually kills our own internal chemical factory, because we are manufacturing this all this inside us. The right way to do is we should tune them properly. Serotonin, this is called confidence or a self-esteem hormone. The more serotonin we produce, we feel less fear. Opiates called painkiller, uh, not just body pain, it's also mental pain. For example, you might have seen for the similar situation, some people say, oh my God, this is a big problem. Some people say, okay, we can deal with it. So if you produce more opiates, you won't say, oh my God, this is a big problem. You will say, okay, we can deal with it. Now I want to ask one question actually. Uh, Again, reflect, no need to respond. What do you think? Success leads to happiness or happiness leads to success? I know you'll say it's like a chicken and egg question. Uh, when I do this session, normally people say, yeah, happiness leads to success. But that's a very diplomatic answer, but we are all chasing success. If I get this, I'll be happy. If I become like this, I'll be happy. If outside people behave as I expected, then I'll be happy. So we are making it conditional and we are chasing that. Can somebody go on mute, please? Uh, on the other hand, if you reflect, when are we most effective in whatever we are doing? When you are angry, sad, so when you are happy, you are most effective in whatever doing outside. That means happiness is a prerequisite for success. And now the wonderful thing is that we can be happy unconditionally because happiness is a chemistry. Because the more oxytocin we produce in our system, we can be happy. And when you are happy, we'll be more effective in what we are doing outside. And with that, success comes. And with success, it adds to the joy. That's good. In fact, if there are problems in life, we should be happy. Not because there are problems, but in order to deal with that, because then we'll be more effectively able to deal with that. And that's what we can do with these techniques. One more thing I want to share is they studied what happens in the brain cells. There's a part of the brain called amygdala. This is called primitive brain or a reptilian brain. Its function is to trigger fight or flight instinct. You might have heard of that, fight or flight instinct. That means for every situation, we subconsciously think of, should I run away from this or should I fight this? It was useful for survival when you are in jungles, because there used to be always threat there. In our social condition, there is not much of physical threat, but we have a lot of psychological threat now. What others say about us, criticism, all those kind of things. And that causes similar fight or flight instinct actually. There is another part of the brain called neocortex, which is called higher thinking, higher awareness brain. So what they saw is by practicing these mindfulness techniques consistently for certain days, they saw the gray matter reduces in amygdala and gray matter increases in neocortex. That means naturally we become less of a fight or flight instinct person, less of a stress oriented person, more of a composed, calm, and responding person, not a reacting person. This means by this practice, you can become high emotional intelligence person. This is what Google actually found out. And because you can't develop emotional intelligence through an intellectual way, by telling them you should behave like this. You may try to remember and act. So when I get angry, I won't shout at somebody. It doesn't work because emotions hijack the intellect. But by this technique, you actually transform your brain cells, transform your nervous system, transform your endocrine systems, which produce hormones, transform. And we know hormones impact our moods, emotions, thinking, feeling, etc. Right? So this is the whole chain they saw. This is also phenomenal scientific evidence for mindfulness leading to higher emotional intelligence, which is called bedrock of leadership actually. So a few data points. This is, we have conducted these sessions. We do normally a one-day workshop. For more than 1,000 people who have conducted this, and we help them to practice some of these techniques for 6 weeks. Uh, and after that, we do a survey, and people have said, about 88% of people said their personal well-being improved, 77% said their work performance improved, 81% said their interactions and collaborations with others improved, and a lot of them gave very many qualitative feedbacks. Somebody said, I'm more focused now, I get good sleep now, because we also teach some technique through which you can switch off all thought processes and go to deep sleep at night. More calm in traffic jams, more responding now than reacting. Self-confidence has improved. Don't get angry frequently. Now easier to solve incidents at work. Immensely helped in improved concentration and staying positive. Sense of peace of mind. Listening to others and allowing people to speak. This is a great awareness for that person. Became aware that I used to cut off people while talking. Okay, I have just a couple of slides, then I will take few questions after that. I want to show now one interplay of body and mind, and how mind influences body, and in turn body mind influences mind actually. So I'm taking one example of stress, and this is true for any negative emotion actually. Mind perceives threat. In fact, this is where it starts. Any situation, mind says, oh my God, this is a problem. And then it triggers the brain and the nervous system, the amygdala, and there is a part of the central nervous system called sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for fight or flight. So whole thing is that now it triggers the whole mechanism to get ready to run away or fight. And nervous system impacts the endocrine system, our chemical factory. Many things happen. One of them is adrenaline. We know that adrenaline increases the heart rate, so that heart can pump more blood and supply raw material to all the cells to generate energy, the food, the glucose and oxygen, etc. So heart starts beating faster, then blood pressure increases because it's the same blood vessels, more blood is flowing now, right? And now if you observe, breathing becomes fast and shallow. In fact, just like we have facial expression for every emotion, we have different breathing pattern for different emotions. If you just become aware, you can observe that. In fact, even temperature of breath changes actually. And beauty is that the moment you become aware of that and change the breathing pattern, the emotions change. This whole cycle changes actually. What else happens is then metabolism increases, so that we need to produce energy. And stomach ready for processing more food, because now we need more coal to be supplied, and stomach thinks that there will be more food, and it starts already producing more acid. And while so much reaction happens in the body, it also produces many waste and toxins. So the excretory systems get overloaded to clean them up. And when the toxins increase in the body, they imbalance our endocrine system, the chemical factories, which produce hormones. And when hormones are imbalanced, our emotions get imbalanced. So it becomes a panic cycle. It starts with small things saying that, oh, it's a problem. Then it says, oh my God, it's a big problem. And it says, oh my God, it's a very big problem. It's like this negative cycle amplifies it. It's a false projection actually. In fact, all fear is a false projection of the future. It's not real in the present moment, if you become aware of that. Now, you just reflect your own situation in the life. Sometime back in your life, which you thought at that time, it's a very big problem. Now, if you look back, you will say, after all, it was not such a big issue, right? Because when it's in front of us, this is negative cycle, which makes it a very big false projection. So what these techniques do is, in the first place, they reduce this mind saying that this is a big problem. So it reduces this stimulus itself. Then subsequently, nervous system, endocrine system, everywhere, it actually brings down the impact of that. Uh, Now, if you look at the impact of this mind on the body, you can see that it impacts the brain, impacts heart ailments, the hypertension, blood pressure, respiratory system, acidity, uh, the kidney problems, thyroid, the endocrine problems, all these kind of things. So mindfulness practices, that's how actually impact body positively. They remove this negative cycle and they create a positive spiral actually. But the key thing is one needs to practice them consistently. That's the important part. Now again, neuroscience shows that neuroplasticity, there are neural pathways, cellular regeneration. That means we are producing new cells all the time in our body and we can manufacture them in a better way. You can rewire the entire brain actually. Earlier, people thought that brain is fixed, Now they're saying you can rewire the whole brain. I want to share one personal example. Almost 20 years back, I used to wear bifocal glasses. For many years, I was wearing bifocal glasses. And since last 12 years, my eyesight changed. I'm not wearing glasses. Um, Probably cells have changed, and I see it's very much possible. Only thing is that we should be practicing them consistently and with awareness. I'll come to that awareness maybe a little while while concluding. So emphasis that you need to practice regularly. So this is my last slide and my recommendation for a daily practice of this small technique. Uh, you practice this 5 to 10 minutes breath watch after morning before starting any other activity. Because in the morning, our mind is, sensitive. Can somebody go mute, please? Uh, so in the morning, our mind is, sensitive. So you can observe how you start the morning, the whole day becomes like that. Malavika, can you mute the people? Hello? Hello, can you mute Malavika?
I'm just check.
You can mute all, I'll unmute.
Yeah. They can unmute themselves.
No. You please mute everybody. There is a lot of noise.
I have muted all.
Yeah. So my recommendation for daily practice is that you start the morning with this practice, 5 to 10 minutes breath watch. See, if you start the morning with agitation or irritation or anger or anything, or even sadness, you will notice that the whole day goes like that actually. On the other hand, if you start with calm, composed, gratitude, you will see the whole day proceeds like that. You can set the trajectory for the day. And more important, that morning session is actually throughout the day, if you can take attention to breath every now and then. This has a great impact. In fact, you can do this with your eyes open also. Can you all do that now? As you are watching me, just take your attention to breath. You don't have to close your eyes. You can become aware of your breath, right? So it's called stealth operation. Nobody else will notice. You can do this in a meeting, even in a customer call, anytime. The moment you do that, it actually declutches the thinking mind. That means you come to more a present moment instead of the wandering mind. And your 100% CPU memory input output will be available to process that current moment. And the more you do this, you will be more and more in the present moment. This is a great practice actually, very simple, but you should be Remember to practice it. And as you do more practice, you will start being in the present moment more continuously. And keep the mind calm and joyful at current situations, because it strengthens immunity. As I said, mental hygiene is very important right now. And we make sensible choices and decisions when you are calm. And calmness is also, calm mind is also a source of creativity and innovation. Uh, you might have known this Archimedes or Newton, when they postulated those theory of density or theory of gravitation, at what state of mind they were actually relaxing, right? And our own situation, many times we struggle to solve some problem and we get some great idea while taking shower or soon after getting up from sleep. So essentially, when mind is calm, we tap into our deeper intelligence. We can say intuitive intelligence. Right now, we are conditioned through our education and upbringing too much usage of intellectual intelligence. We tend to solve every problem by thinking. In fact, our intuitive intelligence is more powerful than intellectual intelligence. And we can tap into that through this practice. So manage personal time, home time, and office time consciously with awareness. Because otherwise I see a lot of people are mixing it up and then it becomes more and more running. So this is my last recommendation, and thank you for attending. And this a link which you can follow to explore more. We have given a lot more techniques and guided practices in that, as well as more information on mindfulness, as well as mindfulness in the industry. And now I will take some questions. So let me exit sharing so that I can see people. Yeah, good to see. People can come on video if they are okay. Yeah, I can see Aarti, Prabhakar. Yeah, good to see.
Hi, Vish. Good morning, Jaitit.
Hey, Jaitit. Good to see people. Okay.
Very nice session, Vish. Very nice session.
Thank you. So any questions I can take, or Malavika
Vishu sir,
can
I have a question, especially pertaining to the eyesight. What all did you do to improve the eyesight?
See, we think that we have to do something to a particular part of the body. That's not true, because this is a very integrated system.
Okay.
Only thing is, modern medical science try to treat it as assembly of parts. Whereas Ayurveda and all other ancient systems treat this as a holistic one system. Body, mind, energy is a very integrated system. So I didn't do anything particularly for the eyes. It's just the whole system. It automatically changes.
So you don't wear glass now? You used to wear sometime back?
Yeah, since last 12 years, I'm not wearing glass.
By practicing this, you have removed glass.
Yeah. In fact, I haven't taken any allopathic medicine for last 18 to 20 years.
Wow, great.
Yeah. It's all possible. Because we are producing everything in our body. We just want to need to tune our manufacturing systems. Okay, anybody question, or Malavika can ask one question from the chat?
There are no questions on the chat so far.
Okay. Any other question?
Vishu, good morning. This is Shankar here.
Hi, Shankar.
Yeah, hi. So thanks for the very useful session. I've been wanting to attend this for a very long time. Now, you have given the first context, right? Now, what happens after this, right? So is there anything to follow after this session?
Good question. Actually, we want to do a follow-up session. I'm doing this first session a few rounds so that there are few people who actually go through this, and then I can do the follow-up session for same set of people, because it needs a prerequisite then. For second round, first round is a prerequisite.
Thanks, Vishu. We'll wait for that follow-up.
Thank you. Yeah. In fact, this is nothing new for India. It's all originated from India. Only thing is we are not living that way. That's the only issue.
Yeah, but thanks to you for bringing these back to our attention again.
Which will this problem practice will try to resolve couple of the problems that what we are facing currently now?
You mean the world challenges?
Yeah, the challenges that what we are facing currently.
You see, it may not solve the world challenge, but it will solve the world challenge as appeared in your mind.
Only individual, basically. It's an individual
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. In fact, a lot of problems are within our head, and we can deal with that.
No, I'm talking about suppose if anybody has this, what are the present problem pandemic you're having, will this technique help them to call?
Okay, that way. Yeah, in fact, this helps to improve immunity. That's why I'm actually focusing on mental hygiene. The moment you improve immunity, even if you get it, it will be very light, and more likely you won't even get it actually, because not everybody is getting in the world, no?
Yes.
So only some people get it because immunity is low. And even if you get, in fact, 80% or even mortality rate is very less. That means a lot of people are recovering.
Yes.
Whoever is not able to recover is actually again because of lack of immunity. So if you develop immunity,
That could be even due to age also, no, Vish?
Yeah, because
age also.
Yeah, age also reduces immunity. That's the challenge. Yeah, possible.
Thanks, Vish.
Thank you.
Hey Vish, this is Vasant here. Thank you so much for the session. It was wonderful. Only one question, if I can ask, is
Sure.
you mentioned about initially closing the eyes and going through the mindfulness and breathing and all that.
Yeah.
And you also said over a period of time you can still open your eyes and again do the same exercise. So how easy to go to the second step, or it's as easy as we speak?
Yeah, as you are talking, you can do that. Can you just have attention to your breath?
Yeah.
As you are watching, it's possible, right?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah,
But at the same time, is it so impactful the same way, or it's just a matter of time you get used to it, or how do you see that? Basically?
No. The more you do consistently, it's more impactful than you just do in the morning and forget the whole day. The more continuously you do, even short few seconds actually, it's more impactful actually.
Okay. No, only challenge is probably you need to switch on that mindfulness when you feel that you have to do it probably.
Initially it requires like that because you need to consciously practice. You need to remember and practice.
Yeah.
But later it's more of you do everything from that place. In fact, when we do one day workshop, we do what's called being mindful and doing mindful. So all this is being mindful. That means you learn these techniques, try to be mindful. Then how to apply it in day-to-day work and life situations. That's doing mindful. So we do a lot of case studies, role plays, and application of that. So that is you do by being actually.
Vish, one last question from mine.
Thank you.
You practice it how long? From what is the if you practice it to get the results? It takes some time, say a week or month, or how often we can expect the results?
It depends on personal preconditions also. I have been practicing it for many years, and it's a very different journey. In fact, this is very, very small tip of the iceberg. It's very, very phenomenally. Essentially, it's actually a spiritual, move. But from a practice perspective, even Google's research, what they saw is just by practicing for 42 days consistently. Even Search Inside Yourself program has certain techniques, and they encourage people to practice for 6 weeks. These 6 weeks or 42 days come from the mandala in yogic sciences. It's connected to the moon cycle. So if you practice anything for one mandala, it starts becoming body memory, and the cells would start transforming, and you will start seeing the effect, which convinces you to do that. You should continue to do more of that. So very important to practice consistently for 42 days. Then actually it becomes kind of a habit as well as body memory.
Thanks, Vish.
There's one question on the chat. How effective is this with respect to thyroid? Can it be treated completely over time?
Yes.
It's from Umesh, yeah.
Yes, it's very much possible because as I said, everything in our body is manufactured inside, isn't it? If you look at when you are born, we are actually this big. Now we are very big like this, and we didn't import anything from outside, isn't it? Hand came from Japan or leg came from America or nothing like that. We supplied raw material here and we manufactured everything inside. That means we are constantly manufacturing inside. If you just observe, we are producing saliva constantly, right? We are manufacturing it. Similarly, now medical science knows that entire cells in the digestive tract change in 3 days. That's why there is a relationship to fasting. And entire blood cells change once in 28 days, and bone cells change in 6 months. So there are now people know that we are constantly producing new cells in our body. So this actually tunes our manufacturing process. So we can change all things in our system, including the brain cells. That's what yogic sciences actually talk about.
Is this video session, video recording available somewhere, Vish?
Yeah, I think we have recorded that, so we'll share that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Vishu. This is Ravi Kumar. Good morning.
Hi, Ravi. Good to see you.
Hi. Yeah. So, Vishu, it was an awesome and wonderful session. I always like your sessions. One thing is, I think you must be aware that, I also practice yoga from about last 9 years now. How do I understand more of the physiology of the human system or endocrine system better by connecting? I mean, while doing yoga now, I need to understand what is happening. Though I know a bit of it, but then how do I get there actually? I mean, I need more of those knowledge. How do I gain that?
Yeah, one is how I got it is I studied many of the medical, as I said, human anatomy, physiology, neurology, endocrinology, and psychology, because these are the subjects. I studied that from a modern science, but then I picked up a lot more from yogic sciences, especially with Sadhguru and Sri M and many of those gurus who also relate to in a modern way. And as I practiced, I could relate and I could experience it actually.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I see that, while doing, I can definitely see myself, there is a change in terms of what benefits it brings in to be more calmer, composed, and all such things. But I would like to, that's one thing, as you rightly said, probably I need to study myself and understand more. So probably connect with few people more, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll share one ebook. I mean, we'll be sharing one ebook at the end of the session through email, where I have given a lot of this neuroscience research and many references, which could be helpful for you to study.
Sure, thank you.
Vishu, I have one question. Aarti here.
Yeah, hi Aarti, just one moment. I think we have overrun the time, but I'm okay if people are okay to be on the line. Yeah,
yes.
Go ahead.
Just so I'll keep it very brief, Vishu.
No problem.
We're listening to you. I mean the sereneness with which you talk always, and the way you make the session itself calms down the mind, and it makes me to commit. Yes, I should be like this. I should try, but
that's your characteristic, Aarti.
Yeah.
So because it depends on the receiver, no?
So I have a problem there, Vishu, and thank you for saying that. So nice of you. Is it doesn't remain constant. It easily people say something, you lose that calmness. It triggers you. So there are so many people who do things consistently that you don't expect.
I can understand. Those are test cases.
Okay.
See, when you develop application, you have to test it, no?
Okay.
To make it more robust. So every such opportunity, you can, if you become aware, no, you can see that, okay, how can I respond rather than react to this? In fact, that's why the more practice you do, you will go into that state of being rather than trying to remember and practice, because remember and practice will not work. As I said, emotions hijack the intellect. If you practice, you become a person of that nature, because the transformation happens in brain cells, nervous system, endocrine system. That's why consistent practice is the most important part. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. It was very nice interacting with you all and seeing many of the faces which I haven't seen for a long time. Thank you very much. So maybe we'll also look at for a follow-up session.
Thanks, Vishu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Vish.
Thank you, Vish.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Sir. Bye.